Okay, you guys, so this is not a Pinterest worthy garden update by any means, but I'm going to share with you guys what's going on in my garden for encouragement. If you're behind like me or things have gone wrong like me, don't give up. So let me turn. I told you guys in the beginning of our gardening season that we were going to add 3 more boxes. As you can see, we only have the 2. So that didn't happen. That was a real discouragement to me that didn't go in. And I had a bunch of plants that I had ready for those garden beds die and kind of just took a step back, and I guess I was overwhelmed and quit for a while. But things were still producing in my garden. It was still doing good, and so I've come back out here. I've worked at getting it under control, starting some more stuff, transplanting the stuff that didn't die, just finding a place for things and just making it work. But in this bed over here, I had lettuce all through here and onions all through here, and the lettuce was really starting to wilt. I think it was May, maybe middle May. I was late on my lettuce. I'm always late on everything, you guys. And it was starting to wilt and yellow. It did not look good at all. So I got this super cheap netting. It came in a 2-pack, I believe. I believe these were together. On Amazon, really cheap. I'll try to share that link with you guys. They had different sizes. We just put in, I had my son help me put in some T-posts. We have like a driver to do it, which was super hard in the clay soil, but thankfully I have a 15-year-old son to help, and we zip tied it on, and easy peasy. It made such a huge difference. Cheap, fast, easy, and I came out here the other day and picked a whole lot of my, I think this is romaine, but I'm not sure, but of my lettuce. And like, as you can see, that whole thing, I just took all of it. I did that on quite a few of them. Down there's some bigger ones. It kind of keeps going, but it's still producing. We're June in eastern Oklahoma, and it is so hot and sweltery and dry and like 95 degrees with humidity heat indexes, and it's still growing and it's not wilted, and I'm still eating it, and I just picked a bunch of it that's in my refrigerator. So I am loving this, and I totally recommend it. So my onions, like I said, I'm late on everything. So I noticed that all of these onions had started to die off, and I'm not really sure how to know when to pick these. Here's some grass. Let's pull that out. But I need to look that up and see if I just need to get these all out. But let me show you what they look like and why I'm not sure if I have to go ahead and take all these out or not. But here is my red onions. They're tiny. So like I said, I was late. I think they're getting a lot of sun in that corner, which is why I think the top started to die off. That's probably my biggest one right there. That's a white one. Those are all the red onions, or whatever you call them, purple onions. Teeny tiny. So I'm gonna do some research and see if I can't leave those in the ground for a little longer. I don't know if they'll grow anymore or not. I'm learning this as I go, and that's okay. You're not always gonna have success. Maybe you have teeny tiny onions, but they're still edible. I put them on a salad and they were still edible. Just like my carrots. I planted my carrots late, and I decided today that I had to pull them because I noticed there was like some fungus taking over some of them in my beds. I'll show you what the tops of it look like. The tops of a bunch of my carrots were just dead out here, and so I dug in and I found that mushy nastiness inside, as well as all of this weird, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like white stuff and little balls of stuff. I think it was some kind of fungus or mold. Look at that. It's like growing, whatever it is. So I just decided, obviously, those need to come out. And I went ahead and planted some of my zucchini was what had died, and not when I was discouraged and didn't have anywhere to put stuff. Well, now my carrots are out, so now I had room to start some zucchini seed. It's a little late in the season, but it's not too late. So I'll still get some. I've planted a few through here. Those are my green beans, and those are going well. I haven't got my panels that I wanted to have for my arch, which was also discouraging. Like as you can see, my tomatoes are getting pretty big over here, and we need to get that. Like that needs to be a priority. So we need to get that put up so that my green beans can grow over. I've got green beans here, and I've got green beans here. I just planted a few little cantaloupe. I didn't have a lot of space. Like I think maybe I squeezed 4 in, and it may be too crowded. I don't know, but I just shoved them in there. And they need something to grow up. So talking about my green beans and my tomatoes, I wanted to show you guys another benefit that I didn't know I was gonna have of these shades that I put up. So this side is green beans and tomatoes. Here's where it goes from green beans to tomatoes, and I've got my green bean is like growing up my tomato, and then I've got some more tomatoes back in there. There's like 2 rows of tomatoes, and they're huge, like especially right here. My green beans look great. They're loving life. They're not supposed to be in shade, but I'm thinking it's just because it's so hot and so sunny in Oklahoma that this is actually helping them, because when I turn you around to the neighboring bed that is tomatoes and green beans that they're supposed to grow up to each other on an arch that we don't have installed, look at them. They're like so little. This is my best one right here, but they're just not, the majority of them not doing great. This side does not compare to that side. Like it's so much more lush, especially the green beans. I was really surprised by this. I mean, I know they like hot weather, both of these plants, but look at them. They're pitiful. They didn't even all grow. Some died out. So I'm gonna grab another shade to put over here, because apparently it just does better. I don't know. We're gonna put that up, and let me take you back to my failed attempts in the back. The back bed back here, this was where all my brachias were. I think that's how you say that. So I had, as you can see, beautiful broccoli. I never got any broccoli off of any of it, you guys. I had tons of broccoli. I think I planted it late, and honestly, I don't even think it was that late. I think it's just Oklahoma. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's just too hard to grow this kind of stuff without, like, I think I'm gonna do a greenhouse, and I'm gonna start it like winter, like dead winter, and then maybe I'll get some before it gets too hot. I don't know. That's what we're gonna try. But I also had my cabbage, and there's some cabbage over here. I've harvested 1 head of tiny cabbage. Like, see, these aren't even like, there's nothing in there. That one's maybe another tiny head right here, but it didn't work. So that was another one of my discouraging things where I just kind of gave up for a little while. My broccoli is going to seed before I get any of it, but that's okay. I took some time for myself. I boosted myself back up, gave myself some encouragement, and now I've just planted, I've got some okra that was almost dead. I need to get some seed and just try this again, because look at that. I don't think this is going to make it. I planted this like a week ago maybe, out of the stuff that was dying because I didn't have space for it in my milk jugs. But I'm probably going to replant that stuff just by seed, and it's okay. Hey, there's a theme here. Plant things late, whatever. So over here, I've planted some patty pan by seed. It's not too late for that. It's just going to be a little later in the season. I had like a couple tomatoes that didn't die that needed a bed, so I stuck them in here. But back over there, let me take on the other side. I've got some pepper plants just kind of spaced out. These little guys are my pepper plants. They're just kind of here and there where I could put them in. Here's some cilantro. I'm excited about that. We're gonna make enchiladas tonight, so I'm gonna come get some of that and use it. Is it supposed to look like this on top? Oh look, there's a bug. I don't know if it's supposed to, I think it's supposed to look like that. So I don't know. Is it already going to seed? I don't know what's going on, but something else to look up and learn. So that's going to be where my patty pan is. And it's okay. It doesn't all go to plan, but it's giving us food. I'm getting organic lettuce that I've been eating. I've got a tiny bit of cabbage. I probably could be eating some of these leaves that are out here. I'm not sure how that works. Even the broccoli. I think you can eat broccoli leaves. So I need to look up that and eat it. But the season is not lost because, let me find you one. Next up is tomatoes, and I'm excited about that. There's a big guy back there. Yes. We're gonna have tomatoes. We're gonna have peppers. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna get more shade cloth, and it's okay. So don't give up on your gardens.